Indoor cycling, Zwift, racing, parenting. We cover those and all of our hopes and dreams in between. Welcome to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast, an entertaining look into the lives of everyday people trying to achieve virtual cycling glory from our basements and garages from around the world. This podcast is rooted in Zwift and has evolved into found friendships, fitness, health, and a little sprinkle of humor. This may be one of the only podcasts where a little heavy breathing shouldn't scare you away, because we're riding our bikes while we're recording it.
Good morning. Well, I'll have to tell you, it's good to be back. I don't remember a lot of what happened, but I remember last week Laura was on because I got to watch it after the fact. But this week, we've got three, I'm going to call them crazy individuals. Heroes among men who I guess we'll refer to as the Dirty 22 crew, huh?
Yeah,
because they took on a phenomenal feat of mankind and took on 22 team time trials. And they're here to talk about it, which means obviously they finished them, right? No one didn't make it. So you guys know Steve. Steve's like an old friend at this point. If he's not hosting, he's a guest. And today he's wearing the guest hat. We're also joined by David, the Squirrel. The is in parentheses, or quotation, right?
Yeah.
David.
It's actually his legal middle name.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then,
David
of course,
T. Squirrel.
Serkit himself. So, gentlemen, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
I prefer to go the titles most likely to be peer pressured into something. I refer to the rest of the teammates.
That's a competition in this crowd, just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
With Drew here, all hats are off.
It always starts off with, should we do 11? Should we do 12? Why don't we do 22?
Why not?
Well, Steve, why don't you tell us kind of the inception of this?
Yeah, I was the last to arrive, so I guess I'll tell you my entryway, and then I'll turn the mic over.
Fair enough.
I just going back a little bit. I'd done a couple TTTs with Squirrel, and he was always like cool, calm, collected, just had things under control. So one day he shot me a note.
Riding at 10 a.m.
Yeah, he's like, "You want to try this 1 p.m. Beasts thing?" I'm like, "I'll give it a shot." So I had some fun with that, and I was like, "This guy has good ideas. I should listen to him." And then he messaged me in like December, and he's like, "Do you want to do something crazy? And, you want to go for the record?" And I was like, "I don't see why not. That seems like a great idea." So, Squirrel, I'll turn it over to you to talk a little bit more about the genesis of what led up to that fateful Discord message.
Before you do, just to clarify for everybody who may be listening in or watching, I'm pretty sure that's how a cult is formed. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That's how most good things happen on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think most of it comes down to Serkit with his original record-breaking antics. And then one very bored afternoon where I was working on what is just possible. How many TTTs can you fit in a day? And got a little bit carried away. Posted it on the old group chat and was like, this is possible. We probably could do 22 if you're really stupid and hate yourself. So just let it simmer there for a while, and then slowly but surely the date crept in the head. This was kind of the first TTT that you could really do sub 35 minutes, which is pretty much the requirement if you're going to do a lot of them. And then a few messages to Serkit, and it slowly built up and built up. And it all really came from Serkit's fantastic 11.
Which was the previous record, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't tell NZ, bro.
I don't have many New Zealand fans, so it's easy.
Ironically, we went for the record the same day that NZ Bro did, and we just happened. We just happened to end up getting 11.
You handed it to him, right?
Well, they had one rider get 10 that day, but Tiago and I both completed 11 races that day.
Nice.
Sneaking by. Oh, wait, when was that? I remember when.
Yep.
I remember Tiago doing 11.
I think that was like
late spring,
Was it
early
May?
summer.
I believe it
May
was
or
Summer.
June, maybe.
June.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2020,
Tiago was
2022.
Yeah, June of last year.
Tiago's on
Yeah,
summer
that sounds
break
right.
already.
We all
Now,
know
before
the best way to
the
protect your.
rumors start, I wanted to be known that we tried to get Tiago involved this time, but he was on the lovely sands of Brazil, enjoying his 3-week vacation. So
And the real question is, which was organised first, the vacation or the 22? He heard rumours, had to run off and escape.
When did you get the idea for it, Serkit? So everybody keeps deferring to the next guy. So.
I'm not taking credit for this one. No.
I mean, the original idea was kind of like an inspiration of Tiago. I think he had done 6 or 7 in a day, and I helped him do a couple of those. And I was like, "Oh, you're crazy! Let's do more." And so I think at the time we probably could have done 13, but 11 worked out to be an easier ride. So.
Was there a tick that you saw in every individual? You're like, this person's crazy enough to sign up for this. I should ask them to do it. Or not.
I mean, once you start talking about it, there's no going back as far as I'm concerned.
Right. It's true.
So yeah, just the verbal commitment. It's like a blood oath, I guess.
Now, Serkit happens to be getting up earlier than me, which is something I'm not used to because I get up pretty early, right? Serkit, what time is it there?
It's
3:40?
3:42, yeah. I got up.
Yeah.
I got up at like 2:40.
That's AM. Commitment.
Oh,
Thank
Lord.
you for joining us, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, worth it. This is fun, right? What everyone dreams of.
Well, you say that now. You haven't seen the episode, but we'll get there, I guess. So the logistics of doing 22 time trials in a day, right? I understand it was broken up into 3 phases, if you will.
Yeah.
3
My
kits.
best way of offloading.
Did you all use 3 kits that day, or did you all did anybody?
I only did 3, which was probably a mistake.
Oh, should have done more.
Yeah.
Things got a little grimy. Just we can leave it there.
Yeah,
And that's full disclosure. I mean, our audience
that's
knows
probably a lot smarter.
we get deep in the weeds when it comes to grundles.
Yeah, so it basically turned out into the 22 split up into a section of 8 for me the morning, but it took about 6.5 hours. A section of 7 midday, which was about 6 hours, and a section of 7 at the night, which was about 5 or 6 hours. I don't know if that math checks out. It does in terms of numbers. In terms of hours, it was something about 15 hours total.
Oh my goodness.
Now, for Serkit and the Squirrel, did you guys have to cater to Steve because he's such a diva? Is that what it is? 'Cause, I mean, you guys were racing at like midnight and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was just simple, whatever fitted in. I tried not to think too much about the times. I just kind of blanked them. It's like zone 1, zone 2. We don't talk about what real time they were.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant. It's just zone 1 or zone 2, huh?
But yeah, to be fair, it wasn't that bad for you guys, I reckon. Like, for now, my 3 a.m. start for me was horrendous. I'm just not used to it. Then I hear all you guys just getting up then casually. I'm like, oh, maybe I should feel less bad.
Yeah, the first one went off at, for me, it was 12:18 Eastern. Which, at least I count my blessings that I got to bracket it in 1 calendar day. The 2 of you guys each had to, like, take this insanity on multiple days, which is, I feel like added something to it.
Yeah, I started at 10 p.m. my time, and I had not gotten to sleep before that, so I was basically still going on a full day.
Wow.
No sleep, and then, obviously we were able to get some
So
naps.
how long were you actually up?
Yeah.
I think I calculated it as 4.5 hours of sleep over 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just with the nap.
I can tell you,
Plus,
having done
plus
that
15
without
hours
the
on the
physical
bike.
exertion, that is like a recipe for disaster.
To be fair, of all the things, it
Incredible.
wasn't the sleep that got to me. Like, I was so awake, just good chat most of the time, and a lot of caffeine. It was everything else that was the killer. I still wake up with nightmares over the EMEA slots. Waking up thinking, 70 to T's to go, 3.5 hours. and just
You see the
screaming.
little join event tag, and you're like, "We're not done yet. I can't join."
Seeing it counting down slowly as you're about
Yeah.
to hit the escalator. Oh, and
Yeah, that was a
Serkit
big
came flying
that was
past.
a big mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like how early the join the next one would come down. It wouldn't come on until about 2 minutes to go. But okay, we're only at this bridge or we're only at here. Like, got to pick it up a little bit. That was always tough.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was saying, I mean, how did you guys pace it? Was it hard to find like a doable pace?
Not at the end of the
I'd say
day.
we failed to pace it potentially.
I mean, the
Quickly.
basic math. Yeah, you got it.
Like the theory behind it was, if we really pushed, we could probably do like a couple of 34-minute ones, and that was kind of the requirement. And then the rest of them was just take it as easy as possible. Problem is when you go for take it as easy as possible, and then the likes of Steve Bonica turns up and decides to go a bit faster, and because you have the loads of different people helping, and like the support was amazing, but everyone came in fresh, wanting to kind of go like, "Oh, I'm going to help out," and they were like, "Let's do 4.5 on the front," and we were all there just crying inside.
Yeah, ripping legs off.
Yeah,
You kept your crying inside. Mine definitely made it out to the general public. Well, because we had Bonica and Nordy in one of the early spots.
Oh,
They were like
no.
warming up for Animales, and they're like, "We'll go easy on you guys," and they're doing like 6:30 up Box Hill. My legs are just like exploding. Yeah.
I think one of the toughest bits in terms of the pacing was kind of going so slow. Like, it was so easy to just go, "Oh, yeah, I'll just hold 3." Or, like, we'll just do Box Hill at 3.5. Because, like, when you think about it, that for most of us, that's comfortable enough. But when you're doing 20-odd of Box Hills, and it starts to really add up quickly. And I think the killer was when we were having to do it 4.2, 4.5.
Yeah.
Like, normally, a 4.5 Box Hill, it's like, we can do that. But when you realise you've done 250k beforehand, and it's your third Box Hill in like an hour, it starts to hit home a bit.
You hear that, Drew? We can do that. I'm suddenly scared for tomorrow.
Yep, I was going to say. I've come to realize that Squirrel's "we can do it" is not my "we can do it."
But with that calm, soothing tone, he can convince you of almost anything.
Yeah. Last week, we were taking 3-minute polls and having a quiet conversation with Joy about New Zealand.
Yeah.
Just like, sitting doing 450 watts off the front, just like, yeah, New Zealand was nice. Yeah, we went to the beach. Yeah, it was really relaxing. But here I am now, doing 450. Oh, okay.
It's
We're all
amazing
cut
how
from a
quickly-
different cloth, I guess.
The other guy who needs to get shouted out is Kyle. So Kyle joined us for 9 of them. He managed to fit it in on a work trip. So he had his bike and trainer in a hotel bathroom in New York City. He did 9 of them with no fan or cooling or anything. He's like dumping out towels in the toilet next to him. And then he put up a COVID positive the next day. So he had a pretty tough 2 days. He was there for a bunch of pulls and a bunch of support, and that guy rode hard.
Oh, my God.
So,
He did tell us a
earned
story
that
of-
eagle. Yeah.
Housekeeping coming in and asking if he need anything. He's like, more towels. He's on the bike. More towels. And the doors, I'm assuming, closed. You're like, oh, we can't come in. No, I just need more towels. Just lay them on the bed.
He's like, slide them under the door very gently.
You want me fluff your pillow?
Just the towels.
I just wanted to hear what the
That's
neighbours
crazy.
thought. Man away for a work trip, panting for 7 hours straight in a hotel room.
That's
So explain
more
more
by the
towels.
hour.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I think another interesting piece, which I had very little part in, was all the recruiting for all the riders.
Yeah.
I forget the total. It was, what was it? Something like 90 people across dirt.
Steve, you're not fighting off your diva persona with saying, I didn't really do anything. I just showed up and rode for 22 hours or whatever.
Just brought the legs and the looks, and everything else, sorted itself out.
There's 56 individuals, but there's
Yeah.
like 100. I don't even want to count.
Holy cow.
500
That's awesome, bro.
slots. In the end, I think we had to fill 100 rider slots.
Yeah.
Like outside of those 3.
I'm going to assume probably with all that confusion, mine just got like lost up in the
You were
hullabaloo.
invited.
It's fine.
You were invited. I let it be known.
Yeah.
And just,
Was I?
You
There's
didn't see it
a
in
general
Discord.
Eat Dirt server, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they went
I
into
got
every
tagged
Dirt
somewhere
server
else.
and we're like, hey guys, we're doing this.
How do you miss it in
At
Discord?
everyone.
It's such a well-organized font of information.
The frat party bathroom.
Yeah.
I just searched for any channel you'd muted. Straight in there.
Sports. It was the sports channel, wasn't it? I should have known.
Put it in counting a few times just to trigger people. See if I could break the streak.
Oh, you weren't successful, but someone else was.
But what did your nutrition look like for the day?
That's what I was just going to
I
ask.
can't imagine.
I mean, that's a very boring intro. I'll take that again. Let's talk about the food. How much food did you have to eat? How sick did you feel?
And then I'll follow up with the next question afterward when you all know what it's going to be.
I went shopping.
You guys, Steve.
I went shopping 2 days earlier, and it was one of those I was like a 10-year-old with his mom's credit card at the supermarket. It was like Pop-Tarts and cookies and all these like weird, hostess snacks. And it comes to like the middle of the day, and I didn't want anything that sweet. I ended up eating a bunch of boring stuff all day, like, vats of rice and eggs and enough salt to trigger early hypertension. And so it ended up just being very boring. And I had this table of insane foods next to me. And it was 16 or 18 bottles of Gatorade for fluids.
That was
So it's
like 2 scoops per bottle, or
Did you try to wait and eat like between races, or did it get to the point where you were just eating constantly?
I ate big meals between races, but I would bring down 6 bottles for every block. And then if we had a minute or two, I'd hop over to the table and eat something here or there.
Okay.
It was a 12,000 calorie burn day, and I probably ate
oh my god,
7,000.
Okay.
So that was a bit
Not
much.
enough.
No.
It's not
That's
enough.
definitely the killer for me. I tried when we were doing the timings, we tried to organise it so they're kind of in blocks of 2 earlier. So you'd have like a 40-minute gap or an hour gap where you get a little bit of food in. I think the longest gap we ended up having was like 2.5 hours, which just isn't really enough time to eat unprocessed food. But I have to preface it by the entire reason I got into kind of fitness-based sports was just so I could eat more and eat what I wanted. So to me, this was like the dream. I was there
after my own heart.
celebrating, walking around Tesco's, getting all the cookies, getting all the good food. And then in the middle, I had a Domino's waiting for me. Straight off into the Domino's.
It wasn't just
what
cheese,
flavor?
though. You got bacon and sausage, right? What was
Mighty meaty. It was
Mighty meaty.
In hindsight, that was a terrible, terrible idea. But at the time, I thought just shove in the calories.
yeah.
You know what we
All
call
that
Domino's
sausage
over here?
and bacon
Table
just
burn.
sits in your gut.
Yeah.
At least in my hometown, we call Domino's hot and disgusting.
Most importantly, it's 3,000 calories a pizza.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Plenty of salt.
Yeah.
Serkit, what
about you?
was your plan?
Yeah, what about you, Serkit? What'd you have?
I hardly ate any solid food throughout the day, so I mostly just had liquid carbs,
Man.
liquid carbs, and a couple bananas and gels, and I think I drank 3.5 gallons of water.
So you lived the dystopian dream of liquid calories and gruel.
Yeah. Soylent Green.
Yeah, it was,
Heck yeah.
it works really well for me because I have a hard time taking on solid food when I'm doing long rides. I just get nauseous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I knew from the get-go I wasn't going to be able to eat a lot. So
Yeah. I don't
I'm pretty
you guys,
sure I would have done only Gatorade and maybe graham crackers.
Oh, those are so
What about
dry.
that'll work.
So
And
dry.
that's
Graham crackers.
Athletic
Oh.
brews to wash it down.
You cut the graham cracker with Gatorade.
I just think it's going to soak up all that liquid.
Yeah.
Dunk the graham cracker in the Gatorade.
By the end, it was hard to eat anything solid.
See you guys, I'm
Imagine a
out.
cracker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not
My
right. But yeah,
goodness.
I didn't quite appreciate
Alright.
how much the nutrition side would kind of have an impact. Like I'd done
Yeah,
longer
sure.
stuff before, and I'd kind of just got by. Like I did a silly challenge back in October, September, where I was like doing a 200k bike and the Yorkshire Three Peaks, which is like a 7-hour joggy walk, and then the National Three Peaks. And like nutrition-wise, there, I was okay because I had such long gaps in between. But for this, as soon as we got into kind of the EMEA zones, the nausea just hit on because I'd eaten so much food. And it was amazing how debilitating that was. And hitting the wall. So as soon as I went above my threshold, like I just felt so sick because I didn't have any sugar left or any kind of fast carbs.
Right.
So I was just burning fat and I couldn't get the energy quick enough. It's amazing how like you can go from fine to unable to do anything at all so quickly.
Yeah.
Crazy. Did any of you guys
All right,
have
so-
prior experience with like ultra distance events or anything? Or
I mean, I've done a couple like 9 to 10 hour bike races, but nothing.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, like, which is still a long distance, but nothing sort of the all day variety.
pushing yourself all day long?
Yeah.
I think it's the intensity. Like
Yeah.
I've done a couple
Yeah.
like Steve, like not on the bike, but like walks, jogs, kind of like pushing like 10 to 12 hours a day, if not longer. But then you have time in between to recover. And all of it's like zone 2, maybe just bordering into zone 3 at most. And it's totally different when you're having to put in threshold efforts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so the question that I was going to follow up with is,
Oh yeah.
which side of the bike was your bucket?
So I
Sure,
can cheat a little bit. I'm in the basement and there's a door to outside right there. And so it was 10 seconds
you went-
on, 10 seconds back.
You went with the outdoor urinal?
Oh, yeah. It's a classic.
I'm impressed. Did your neighbors call the police
Yeah.
at any time?
I'm luckily sort of in the woods, so I'm a bit far enough away. But it kills my exhibitionist tendencies.
Well, we all have
Reduces
to
the
have
thrill
those.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
exercise
right.
those every now and then, right?
Yeah. Keeps life interesting.
What about you, Squirrel? Which side was your bucket?
I went for similar. I've got a toilet 10 seconds out the door. Just jump over a few boxes and jump in. But it was amazing how quickly I got that down to. Like, I was starting to time it like my box hill. How quickly could we finish the course, run into the toilet, run back before the next race started? It's horrendous.
Now-
Hey, the
Serkit,
downhill
just-
takes this long.
Just based on Serkit's like background, I'm going to guess you established a pee corner fairly early on.
You gotta have a pee bucket.
Yeah,
I have a utility sink.
man,
it,
right
works,
there.
it works
I knew
really well.
somebody wasn't going to let me down. Utility sink, yes.
It's all about the Oasis bottle. I'm so glad I don't have to use it. Wide neck
in the-
Oasis bottle.
This may be too much information, but in the utility sink, do you have to like break it down before it'll, before it'll go down?
You don't poop in the utility sink, Dad. You pee in it.
Greg, at this point in the game, you poop where you have to poop.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right, guys?
It's utility for a reason. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're assuming at that point there's anything solid.
Exactly.
It's a dangerous time.
Touche.
Yeah. Watch the farts for sure.
I think every grown man has learned to not trust a fart at some point in their life.
That's awesome.
It's the
What
danger
did
of
like the
chamois
recovery
creaming.
look like then? Yeah.
I took a full week off.
What is
There was no
your recovery? Like 2-3 days?
I
Like,
took a full week.
I booked a
how long
holiday
till you got on a
instead.
bike again? I know. Squirrel timed it perfectly.
It's definitely part of it. I went away for 3 weeks. Didn't get a look at anything. I was like, on holiday, yeah, I'll go for runs every other morning, something like that. I think I went for a solid singular run. Nuked any
That's
gains
awesome.
I had. But it was weird. I actually felt relatively okay, like the afternoon afterwards. Like the morning was hell on earth. Like I could barely walk or stand up. Then by the afternoon,
God.
it wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah.
I was just fortunate with that.
See, that you should have had the pizza for breakfast the next day.
Why would there be any pizza left?
No. Order it to arrive the next
Oh, you're
morning.
talking about fresh morning pizza, not like leftover morning pizza? Because that's where I went.
Yeah, that's a treat, man.
Yes.
Hello,
Never heard
Domino's.
of
Deliver that
leftovers.
pizza at 7 a.m. Are you sure, sir? Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is everything all
What I
right?
want.
Do you need me to call someone?
I'm concerned about what kind of Domino's you have in Lansing, Michigan. Because they don't deliver at 7 a.m. here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Michigan is not a Domino's territory. We are Little Caesars through and through.
Oh.
You don't have both?
I mean,
Sorry,
we got both,
we
man.
We
but
could digress onto pizza for at least half an hour if we had to.
Michigan is squarely in Little Caesars territory.
That's Detroit style, I understand.
No, it's cheap style.
Cost
Are you
effective.
then referring to Domino's as high-end style, or is that? I would beg to differ.
High-end cheap stuff.
Lower high tier. Lower high tier.
No, Michigan. We don't have to get into Michigan's food foibles. They are bizarre.
We'll save that for the 45-minute mark, right?
Sure.
What about you, Serkit? How long until you got back on the bike?
I took a full week off. I've been struggling with some illness in the family, and we had like a pretty bad sinus infection going into the event. So I think I
Did the Dirty 22 with a sinus
and I
infection?
took like the max amount of Sudafed one could possibly take in a day throughout the course of the day.
I think your doctor would recommend against that if you're going to do some sort of like, physical activity.
Yeah, I didn't run that by.
Spitball.
Didn't run that by the doctor, so I'll just leave it at that.
He doesn't know.
This is why you didn't invite me, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, that's the one.
You
Yeah.
knew I would be the voice of reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Me, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
Kyle, who was probably
That's a
experiencing
situation
COVID
you must be
symptoms at the time.
uncomfortable with. Yeah.
Best way is just never ask the question.
Yeah.
Right.
Did it with Steve? Didn't ask if he wanted to do this. We just told him turn up at this time. Keep
Right.
Right.
You'll be here this day.
It's
Take
the
the
old
day
ask
off
for
work and
forgiveness,
show
not
up.
permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show up here, turn the pedals, you'll be fine.
So, is 22 the maximum number of zones that they offer, or do they offer the full 24?
It's the maximum
It's not
independent.
on the
zones.
hour. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 26
So
zones now, I
yeah,
believe.
there are overlapping zones, but it doesn't.
Oh, there are.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
26 is that's the latest one now.
Why?
So
Like
9
if you
through
look
to
at
18.
like
Sorry, I
Eastern
didn't know
time,
that.
there's a
When they
1
switched-
p.m. zone, a 1:15, a 1:30. Like they're weirdly overlapping.
What?
Yeah.
It's the Europeans. We just love TT
Because there's a
so
bunch
much.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But-
now that you can like select your minute, do they need that many? I guess so. Okay.
Yeah, and midday for us.
frappe
Yeah.
and latte.
I love that
Yeah.
Greg just answered his own question internally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that
seems
is right.
nuts to
Okay.
me.
So the frappe zone 10, I think it is normally filled out straight away. It's crazy.
So the overlapping zones
Wow.
seems up to you. Not that they did 22, Greg. That's crazy.
Well, mind
overlapping
blown.
zones.
No, there's two columns of disbelief. There's like, why did you do this thing? And then there's why does WTRL
Why does this
organize
exist?
how it organizes?
Yeah.
That has always
At
been a
some
mystery.
level, I'm glad it was the way it was because it made the challenge like more interesting. If it had been 24 zones like on the hour,
Yeah.
it would have been so much easier both to organize and then like we could have done those 45 minute TTTs like all day long.
Yeah.
But having to push the middle ones was the backbreaker.
That
That
would
was
have been
bad.
a challenge otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. As soon as we hit 22, or like if we even with 20, they're just going to instantly announce, "Oh yeah, we're changing the time zones again. There's now 40 a day."
The Schweiker's article said that you guys did 300 miles. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
Oh, my God.
in game, it was 495K or 305 miles.
And he didn't.
Holy
If you got the
heck, no.
Domino's run, if you got the toilet runs,
Right.
amateur
There's
penmanship.
only so much left.
All
Did
loggable
anyone-
hours, you know?
Did anyone try to take a nap? Like
I got 2 in the middle of the
Yeah,
day.
same.
Because we had these
How
like
long
2.5
were
hour blocks. So,
So you slept for a good hour and a half?
yeah, an hour each time.
Yeah.
That's all you need when you're on the bike for 12 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Recharge the batteries a little bit. Just plug yourself in. Holy cow.
I was
That's
dreaming
insane.
of those breaks.
What was the highest coffee class you guys rode?
I think most were in espresso, but it wasn't an espresso style ride.
Because
Right,
Serkit
was it
was
some
Yeah,
of
because
them
Jay
were-
is pulling.
You had
I
an
think
A
there were a
plus with
couple where
you.
we got top 20. We got top 20 espresso, I think, on one of them.
But yeah,
Maybe
I'm
2 of them.
surprised.
But,
Those 34-minute ones were horrendous.
yeah.
I think
Do
the
you think
depressing
anyone
thing was,
Go ahead.
the depressing thing with those 34-minute times was that we just weren't going quick enough on the flats. Like, we had all the firepower in the world and just couldn't hit the speeds we needed. And it's hard to see it kind of roll away like that.
Yep.
Do you think one of the 2 guys at WTRL saw all the names just keep coming in like the same? They're like, something's broken, guys. It just keeps popping up with the same riders all day.
Yeah. Well,
I think
Serkit, are you the second most all time for TTTs?
Third most.
But
Third most. Okay.
Who's number 1 and number 2?
Jeff Hines is number 1, and then Angela McRae,
Hines.
I think is her name. And she's from
Yeah.
Eagles, I want to say. She's number 2, and then I'm number 3.
Yeah, Jeff has been doing several a day for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff signed up to about 6 or 7 of these, and Serkit just kept deleting them off just so he could catch up. Just
We're
saw
not
his
major
message
services
was
here,
jammed.
sir.
Oh, gee, Jeff, we found somebody else. It's all right. You take this one off.
It was great having
So-
Jeff towards the end, though, because he's done so many, and he's done so many
Yeah.
crazy challenges with the Ironmans and things. It's amazing just having his support on the last few,
Yep.
just to kind of relate and pity us a little bit.
I'll talk you through.
He kept saying, he's like, after this, guys, you're going to be so fit. Like, it's going to be worth it. And I was like, my head is on my stem. I'm like crying everywhere.
Yeah.
Disbelief.
I don't feel the fitness.
Yeah. It was when he
I'm
said,
Googling
"Oh yeah,
will tears ruin my bike. Yeah.
Is fitness manifesting as nausea? Because I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
it put me down when he said, "Oh yeah, no, I might join you. Like I was going to come join you for this, and then I'd do a run as well. So I've got to run every day of the week." I was like, "Cheers! Makes me feel so much better."
Thanks, Jeff. That's amazing. Jesus.
And
It's
the other
interesting.
guy who was a huge help was Ali Loney.
Yeah.
We got
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit out of sorts and disorganized at points, and not only did he ride a bunch, but he marshaled all the troops and moved people around, and he
Yeah.
was instrumental in landing this too. That guy was great.
Yeah.
Excellent organizer.
I was gonna say, talk about a great coordinator all around, because he does that all the time.
Logistician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Logistician.
time.
Nice.
Ooh, look at you!
Not the only one who makes up words, guys.
Good word. Stop it.
All words are made up.
There you go.
It's true. It's true.
Deep cut.
So,
It might be our
okay,
new segment.
have you already
All
started
words are
looking
made up.
towards? Have you started looking towards when RGV is up next? Because that's the one to really.
Yeah.
That's the 25, 26er, I think. RGV super fast. Come on.
Yeah,
I fear for their intestines in the intestines.
I do think
The
Box Hill
vacant
made
look
it
in their eyes
interesting.
as
Like,
they process this.
yeah, Box Hill made it.
Like,
Box Hill was hard, but it made it interesting to like break it up.
Definitely.
Like, okay, I have it's the flat and then the up and then the down, and like there was a routine to it that was nice.
Yeah.
I
Right,
could've
we got some
RGV.
recovery.
I don't know.
I jumped off the bike if
Nice.
it's RGV. At least with Box Hill, you kind of had like just got to get there. It's only like 15 minutes to it, or 23,
Yeah.
and then
You
it's
stand on the pedals,
okay.
then you coast down. Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you saying
7
the
minutes
petite
of
Tom is
torture.
not enough for you? That's
Oh, you wouldn't want to do
That's
it.
not RGV, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no
I'm thinking of the aqueduct.
Nothing cast pads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aqueduct,
Yeah, the aqueduct's so short.
Yeah.
Say
So
that.
that's like the fastest TTT course.
Greg, you and me, RGV, 23.
Sure.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's Knickerbocker. I think Knickerbocker reverse might actually be quicker than RGV, but you would
Not in
not
New York.
want to do that.
No, hard pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hard
quicker
pass.
but worse.
Yeah, it's the downhill. So like the downhill on Box Hill really helps out, and same on the other the French courses for the Petit KOM.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
I realized I left Drew out. That's Drew's favorite course. Drew, you can join us for the 23 if you want. I'm not going to exclude you. I'll invite you formally, since I did not receive an invitation.
We'll make sure to plan it for the due date. So here's
I was going to say, you can pick June 27th.
Just to put a little extra oomph in it.
Honey, listen, I'd really like to be there, but
Yeah.
this thing going on.
You're like, just put me on FaceTime on the iPad. I'll be there.
right.
Kind of like the same
Unless it's
thing,
during
right?
one of my nap breaks.
Yeah.
While you're actively in labor. Yeah, that'll go over well. Oh, boy.
Yeah, there were a couple.
honey.
So of the last 5, coming down Box Hill, I actually put my head down on my handlebars and took like a 30-second close your eyes break, like laying on the bike. That was not my proudest moment.
That was about the time that Marshall and Mark, who else? Flanagan decided to go for. Can we break 100 kilometers an hour on the downhill? Just the words you want to hear. 300-400 kilometers in.
No, we cannot.
No.
To be fair to them, they did it. I think I got up to 97-ish.
Oh, jeez.
Made no difference when Serkit comes up the escalator flying past you there.
Steve, whose voice was it that you heard whenever you woke up 20 minutes later after you laid your head down?
Yeah, it was the voice of reason. I just had to keep shutting it out. Yeah, every single time we got to the escalator, Serkit attacked like it was his precious first time, and I was like, I cannot follow this guy. Those red numbers every lap. Like what?
He knows that 120 RPM.
The fresh people coming in racing him, and he'd still beat them.
Yeah.
I'm like, quick, get Neil. Can Neil come and join? Just to put him down. Get him to finally stop.
So, Squirrell, what is your background with cycling and endurance sport?
Zero cycling background. I think I'd say I'm banned from being on bikes outside. So I'm too much of a liability. Even tiddlywinks, I'd find a way to injure myself. So it's strictly inside safe sports now.
Tiddlywinks. Boy, it's been a hot minute since I've heard that reference.
It's a vicious sport.
Cutthroat.
Exactly. See the old people in their retirement homes.
You were a competitive rower, though, weren't you?
Yeah, so I've done pretty much everything since I was a kid. I started off with football and then, soccer for you guys. Then went to a school that was kind of rugby only. And so I had to move to rugby, which is great. And I still love rugby. But I'd always done a lot of swimming because my entire mum's side of my family were all big swimmers. So I had quite a big background in doing swimming, not necessarily competitively, but 2-3 times a week just doing it. And so I slowly built up endurance. And then when I'd had a couple of knee injuries playing rugby just before I came to university. And when we were coming to university, I was kind of like, first I just want to take it a bit more chilled. So I went to my college team, which is like a subdivision, like kind of a residential block of the university. Right. And then they played on these 4G pitches, 3G pitches, which just destroyed you. And someone said, if you start rowing, you can get double meals portions. And what can you say to that? Is love at first bite. And so joined up to rowing, and it kind of is a slippery slope from there. They're like, it's just like 4 sessions a week to begin with. Then it's up to 10 sessions a week. Then it's up to 14 sessions a week. And end up, you're doing 18 hours, 20 hours training a week.
Now I understand your proclivity for Domino's Pizza because it's also cheap, right?
Exactly. Domino's and biscuits, or what you call cookies.
Cookies, yeah.
It's amazing. Bourbons. You can get 2,000 calories in a packet. I had a bad obsession. Back when I was 16 and I was swimming a bit more, we'd go shopping afterwards. And every time we'd go to the shops immediately after the swimming session, get these big multi-packs of biscuits. And I found out I'd just have 3/4 of the packet. And it was only a couple of years later I found out after every swimming session, I was eating like 4,000 calories of biscuits immediately after. Like, that's why I was a chunky child. And I've kind of, as soon as I got into rowing, it became such a kind of endurance focus. But I had a lot of the explosive power still before then. And it's just, I kind of enjoy just getting away from everything and just pushing out the numbers. Then lockdown hit, and that's when Zwift came about. Because I don't know if any of you have been on an erg rowing, it's the most dull thing in the world, just looking at the screen going backwards and forwards for hours on end. I was on the bike going to stick cricket on my phone. I'd just play stick cricket as I went. It's amazing how quickly that passes the time. And found Zwift a bit more interesting, and then it kind of went from there. Within a week, everyone was like, oh, come join the TTT, come join ZRL. And there was no stop to it.
I remember one of my first DRL experiences actually involved you on the New York City Com. You were racing C with us. I was with Sully for like the first race ever. And it was when they still did Zwift Community Live. And they were like, oh, we're going to cut to the C race right now. Because this guy, Squirrell, is like a minute and a half off everybody else and dropping them up the Com. I remember, like, oh, who the hell is Squirrell?
Was that the
Why
Zwift
is he racing
Classics?
C? Yeah.
Those Zwift Classics were horrendous. Like, so it was the amazing Auto Cat. And like, I tried to point out that maybe I shouldn't be in the cat with all the C's.
That's right.
And no one did anything. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to have a bit of fun. And so, like, I did the KOM, like, finished like a minute ahead on the KOM, and then just sat there waiting at the top. So I didn't want to solo away.
Yep.
So
right.
I'll have to say, during that episode, I remember this very vividly. Squirrell was going for not some points, but all of the points. And the only one he didn't get was because of me. That's my only claim to fame. I got him. Was it the New York Sprint? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Triggered. That's why I decided to join 2 and just flog you.
This week is my repayment, isn't it?
Yeah, bit by bit.
Calmly tell you to keep pushing harder.
It's amazing how many people have sworn back at me when I've been de-essing. Like, you're on the TTT and just like, just a bit more, you can do it. And then they say, no, I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. Shut up and push. But I do it. It's quite fun.
Job.
It's fun enjoying it because it's amazing how much when people say, no, I can't do it, and then they go and put out like 6 watts per kilo for a minute at the finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I just mute everything afterwards so I can't hear them dying and throwing up. Feel a bit less guilty.
A bit less.
Cool is the
But
one,
really,
though.
it's zero guilt, right?
Yeah.
We know.
That's why I drown it with the wine. I always see if I can. When they reach the top of a sprint or a segment, I just open a can of beer right next to the mic. Just trigger them.
I just had this vision of Squirrell, like, with the microphone off to the side, swirling a glass of red, like, push a little harder, push a little bit further.
Oh, look at the legs on that.
Yeah. This wine's got more legs than you boys. Come on.
Every time you ride with Squirrell, though, I feel like you learn something new. So a few weeks ago, I guess it was before the Dirty 22, I rode with you in London. It was at the switchback in the mole.
Yeah.
And you were like, don't push into the switchback. It's only going to nuke your speed, make you go 33, just whatever, explode out of it. And I was like, that can't be right. Like, whatever. And sure enough, every time I'd let off the power, 33.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow, how does this guy know this?
Too much time.
Dodd, can you cut this? Can you cut this part? That was a trade secret. I don't want that one getting out. Drew's
Sorry,
taking
I
all the
lost,
juicy bits.
I lost the scissor button on the Premiere Pro. I guess. Sorry.
All
Got
stolen.
deleted.
If you want to see like top-notch de-essing and top-notch TTT riding, if you look at Magnus Buchstein, don't know how to pronounce him. He was Casey. I think he's now Talent Fry. Like the way he organises stuff and rides TTTs is just totally different level. Like he was a B, stepped up to Espresso and A, and I think he's maybe like a 4.3, 4.4A, and yet they're winning Espresso or were regularly each week because they just have a perfect pace line. And like as soon as someone gets like 6 meters, he's screaming at them to get back in line.
So you're so
I
so
don't
into this.
understand
You're
a word he's saying.
scouting.
It's all in German.
You're scouting DSs. That's next level. Scouting DSs is pretty. I understand looking for riders to sign up, but scouting DSs is strong. My proverbial hats off.
It's the top level. It's also
Yeah.
like we tend to find when you get to the top of a category in the TTTs, you end up like having a rivalry with one or two other teams.
Oh yeah.
And like it's every week you're each following each other. And if they have a live stream, like 2 or 3 people just watching it, seeing what their segment times are, praying that
Yes.
something goes wrong.
So people in Norway know about Dr. Mike Dodd.
Absolutely.
Drew, you taking a pull? Drew, you taking a pull? I did this the last time I rode with them. I got dropped hard. I came back from vacation. I got dropped like within the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'll DS. And then like 10 minutes later, they're going up the comm and
Finish with
Drew
the-
drops.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, 15 minutes later, I'm like, Drew, how you doing? You want to take a pull? He's like, I'm
take
5
the
minutes
pull by
off the
myself
back,
off the
but yeah,
back."
sure.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's we did it all backwards this week because we were so excited. But Serkit, what's your
Yeah.
endurance sport background? Because we don't like the Zone 5 Eat Dirt crew. We don't overlap with Serkit too often.
Yeah, I'm usually sleeping when you guys are riding. It's like one of the few times a day.
Yeah,
I
that's
sleep.
sensible of you.
As you should be.
I used to be a runner, and when I was younger, played soccer, and I really enjoyed cross country, cycling, and running. I grew up in Nebraska, so lots of gravel there. So I would just, ride for hours on gravel, never see a car. And but I kind of took 15 years off the bike and rediscovered cycling in late 2019.
Dang.
And then, obviously during COVID,
Wow.
I started ramping my cycling up a lot more. And I had no idea what was going on with cycling technology, heart rate monitors, power meters. And I was like, wow, a lot's happened in 15 years. Like, only pros can get that stuff back when I was on my bike.
Yeah. Power tap wheels.
And I was actually just kind of spinning in my basement like a dummy, not using any apps or anything, just, using like Trainer Road free trial. And I was like, oh, Swift, it's like a video game. What am I doing? Why am I wasting my time, just spinning here? And I was a Category D when I started, and now I'm just barely a Category A. But it's been a fun journey, losing 12 kilograms and gaining about 100 watts of power.
Holy cow.
It's one of the best
Wow.
things to
Pretty good.
see when you see people like progressing up so much, like
Yeah.
starting off in the lows and like hitting into A. Just
Yeah.
love seeing it.
Absolutely.
Sure, everybody's got those, like, no, it's not a linear thing, right? I mean,
No.
people fall back to a category or two every now and then.
Yeah.
It's happened.
Spend a summer at the lake or go to Mexico a few too many times.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm just saying hypotheticals that might explain.
These are possible things that could happen. Yeah.
It's when someone says if you do 22 TTTs, you'll get fit. So I'm like, crap, better book a holiday. Can't be getting too fit. It's danger.
That's awesome.
Man.
Hey, Serkit, where are you based then?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Denver. Good riding out there. Jeez.
Yeah, I live riding up the canyons around where I live. Some amazing stuff.
You do a lot of like mountain bike riding or?
More gravel, but I do a lot of, do a little bit of cross country mountain bike riding.
Cool.
Not like riding on the road out here, especially in the canyons. I call it
I've always said,
I
like,
call it adventure cycling because I don't really, I just get on my gravel bike and go wherever it takes me.
it's awesome though.
That's
Like I said,
my
I'd love
favorite
to
way
have a
to
gravel
enjoy
bike,
outdoor
but-
bikes, though.
Yeah. Just
Not to have a
Going
plan,
around.
just be like, I'm just going to go ride for fun. Zone
Yep.
2, whatever.
Yeah.
hit a hill hard if I want to. Die on another one if I want to.
Nah, that's not me.
I've always said like a gravel
segment
bike would be
hunting,
cool. Yeah, exactly. Go to Strava, find the segments. The gravel bike would be cool, but there's not enough
Search by
gravel around New York
shortest.
City.
No, there's not true.
I can go upstate, but even then, like more mountainous than it is gravelly.
If you take your gravel bike upstate, you'll just never get the lake weight that you're looking for, you know?
Need to maintain that 202 pound frame. Come on.
That's where those
Oh, yeah.
biscuits come in,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I gotta take a page out of Squirrell's book. Let me buy my biscuits after training.
Hey,
All right,
it's the Beast TTT training plan. Just eat,
Yeah.
eat.
there's my sleeve of Oreos.
That's one aliquot of Oreos. Aliquot.
You made that up.
All words are made up, right, Serkit? Oh, man. Well, I don't know if we have a segment. Are we skipping it?
Yeah.
Are we going to ask more questions?
I don't know. We can, it was organic. It came up earlier, but we might as well return to food foibles.
Oh, of
And
course.
Talk about what weird foods everybody has near them. I'll lead off by saying Michigan is bizarre because it is actually a peninsula that sticks up from the rest of the Great Lakes and Midwest states.
For those who aren't in the U.S., David, I'm talking to you, Squirrel. Michigan makes like a form of a hand,
Yeah,
right?
it's a mitten.
And then it has an upper peninsula, which kind of looks like a.
And then there's an upper peninsula that connects over. There's a bridge that
And
joins them.
Kinda looks like a-
Wisconsin.
Kind of looks like a thing that starts with a P and rhymes with greenus.
Sure. The upper
To the
peninsula.
discerning eye, yeah.
The upper
Yeah,
peninsula
yeah.
looks like a peninsula, but the lower peninsula doesn't. But trust me, it's surrounded by water. The point of all this is that Michigan, you don't drive through Michigan to go anywhere. You drive through Michigan to go to upper Michigan, and that's it. And
Canada? No,
Yeah, exactly.
no Canada.
Nope. No, you go through Buffalo to go to Canada. So they've got all these weird we've got a Papa John's that pre-exists the creation of Papa John's, and so they're still Papa John's because
Really?
they can be because they had it first. So we've got just weird local only foods that have continued to exist because we've got McDonald's and everything, but your standard food chains have no interest because they're somebody driving across the country isn't going to say, oh, I really need to stop it, whatever it is.
Whataburger.
Nobody drives across the country to get here. So we got some weird foods.
Interesting.
Anyway,
What is your favorite weird food, Greg?
We have a chain. There's a lot of Mediterranean food here also. It's a lot of the Arab diaspora back in the middle of the century came to Michigan. I don't know why. Manufacturing jobs, maybe. Anyway, so there's a lot of Lebanese, and there's good chains. There's fast food chains that are Mediterranean food. Spoolie is popular. There's others, but
I don't know if
you
we
can't-
have any.
yeah, you don't have that
Mediterranean
anywhere else.
fast
I don't
food.
think.
Yeah. I mean, we have restaurants. People open up a Mediterranean
Sure.
food. We have a lot of Greek restaurants, but
Yeah,
nothing really.
no, but it's
Lebanese,
chains.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Interesting.
Anyway, and then Little Caesars. I mean, the Pizzerina is here. So,
Do buffets at strip clubs count or no?
I mean, we have that too. Sure.
Isn't that for family gatherings in
It's not.
Michigan?
It's not Mediterranean. Oh, it's definitely
It's where
for family
families
gatherings
start,
in
that's
Missouri.
for sure.
Those are definitely the best places to get, a steak in the middle of the day. But
Yeah. It's homemade meat tenderizer too.
Get us a side of beef in the middle of the day. I see where you're going.
no, the steak is really good. Okay, they have a good salad bar too.
Don't sleep
I'll
on the
get
you
flavor
to the
now,
door,
fellas.
you know?
Yeah,
That's-
I'll get one
that's
with
what everyone
all the
says.
fixins. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite is the
Nobody else
eggs
has-
next to the steaks.
So Connecticut,
steaks are stacked.
has a couple. Yeah, Connecticut has
Weird-ass
a couple
foods.
local weird foods. Yeah, I mean it's a state kind of known for pizza, and the pizza's fantastic. but then people get all sorts of weird
That's right.
toppings
I think
and things on
when I
the
think of
pizza.
Connecticut, I think of pizza. No,
You're missing out. You're missing out. But there's a place near
it's a
me
good old
that
Connecticut style pizza.
does a pizza that has it's fantastic. No sauce, peanut butter, bacon, mozzarella cheese. It is outstanding. It is the mix of like salty, fatty, delicious. It's unbelievable. And everyone gets it as a joke. And did I bring
This is
this
a
up before?
conversation
Yeah.
I think we've had with Hannah before, and I'd be interested to hear what Squirrel's take is. Americans have this weird thing of mixing sweet with savory. So like peanut butter and bacon. Two things that you wouldn't ordinarily think to go together, that I guess English do not. And like very rare that you'll get the two. So
It's like your chicken and waffles for breakfast.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I can get on board with it. Like, I like kind of being a bit more adventurous with food. And like mixing the sweet and savory stuff it can work sometimes. I know, like I found these little crackers in Japan, which are like rice cakes almost, but a bit more crackery. And on one side it's salt, and on one side it's sweet. And it's the most bizarre thing, but it's so nice. Just having that contrast is good. I was going to say, have any of you had haggis yet, or black pudding?
Oh, yeah.
black pudding,
Both of those are
Disease.
so good.
I've had black pudding, but not haggis. Yeah.
yeah.
I had my haggis at work yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, haggis is delicious.
Yeah, it's one of our weird
Any
finds.
food that's primarily long, you can't get it in the United States because long is illegal. It's not a joke. Yeah, so the USDA bans.
We can't eat lungs.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
So
The
long
stomach
is
lining or something. Yep.
What?
Is
Like
it
the
there an
stomach
actual
lining for it.
legitimate health reason, or
I think there was for a while, and then it's the USDA hasn't changed their regulations. But
Sure.
yeah, lung is banned, so you can of course you can get heart, kidney, liver, stomach.
You can use byproducts of lung, because that's what spoilers. McDonald's uses beef surfactant, which is the like liquid of the lung, if you will, to flavor their fries.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's
gotta get in
haggis
there
is
and
primarily
squeeze it
long,
out.
so you can't get the good stuff in the
sponge.
US.
Yeah.
Can't get the good stuff.
Haggis is the dream. We've had
It
a lot
is so
of
good.
my girl had a lot of teeth issues because of like a crash she had with my scooter when she was younger. And through lockdown, we kind of lived off it for a few weeks because it's so soft. So you'd have like haggis and mash and soups and things, just so you didn't have to go and bite. But it's really bizarre, kind of living for a couple of weeks on a liquid diet.
I'm with Greg on this one. You had me up until soups, and then I was like, nah, I think I'm done.
Oh,
And the other ingredients in haggis are oats and oats, fat, and spices. It's long oat, fat,
pepper.
spice.
Yep.
You described me perfectly. Thank you.
Do you know what it's cooked in? Traditionally, it's cooked in a stomach.
My
it's
stomach.
the stomach.
Yeah.
No, it's
own
cooked in a
entrails.
stomach. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
I know. It's my stomach.
Oh yeah, I see what you did there. So
So in the Bronx, you can go to a bodega and get a chopped cheese, which is effectively the cheap man's cheesesteak. They just take ground beef, put it on the fryer, chop it up, throw some cheese on it, some onions, mix it around, put it on a roll, serve it to you. But if you go anywhere else in New York City, they're like, what is that? Chopped cheese. Never heard of it. It's an exclusively
Why?
Bronx thing.
why? I feel like you could just be like, okay, here are the ingredients. Call it
For a cheesesteak.
your whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
It's because the Eagles, man, they're not going to like give Philadelphia credit.
Exactly.
Eagles and the Jets, they already stole each other's colors. I mean, come on.
We don't like to use the steaks around here. We just use the ground beef.
I'm trying
Chop
to think
that
of
up,
anything
put it in there.
like this is the crux of it is that I can't think of anything weird in Missouri because it's all normal to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know
St.
it
Louis has
exists.
the slinger.
I mean,
yeah.
this might be a sensitive subject, but how much squirrel have you eaten in Missouri?
Squirrel or turtle? I don't want to. I have never eaten squirrel.
Oh, really?
I have
thought,
had turtle soup.
Yeah.
The challenge is killing them. They have such like thick skulls. It's amazing.
Really?
You can take a lot of shots to the head and survive.
I think you have different squirrels in the UK than we have here.
Ours all vicious greys.
Yours are
Driven out
like
the red
the
squirrels.
size of house cats.
Burnley. Still want to shoot some flying squirrels. It's the best way.
St. Louis has the slinger, which
Which
have you had that?
we have here
It's
too. Basically,
two
it
hamburger
was.
patties.
Oh no, that's not what
Go
we
ahead.
call a slinger.
Oh, what's your slinger?
For us, it was drunk food. So it's like
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
tater tots, nacho cheese, white gravy, fried chicken. What else was on it?
Fried chicken.
Yeah. This was like 1 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Oh,
Yeah, ours was.
that's called a Sunday
So
afternoon
St. Louis,
diarrhea.
if you order the slinger, it's 2 hamburger patties on the bottom of a platter plate. 2 hamburger patties, and then hash browns, and then
Chicken fried steak was the other part of
white
it.
gravy, and then I think there's fried chicken on top of that,
Yeah,
and then there's another condiment, and then cheese.
I think it's
Holy
multiple
cow.
cheese sauces.
Maybe that's right.
No
You had
wonder
hash
we all
browns, I had
ride for
tater
10 to 20
tots.
hours a week.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's I
my God.
don't know.
That's
That's
great.
heart
You can go into pick a diner in St. Louis and be like, I want a slinger. And they,
Oh, ours came from a gas
They give it to
station
you.
named Don Store 24.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
It was across the street
can
from the
see how-
police station.
Don's
John
trying to kill you.
modified it to suit his needs.
Yeah,
That's
that
incredible.
place. Rest in peace. I don't know, Don's probably dead now, but it's no longer Don Store 24.
What about Denver Circuit? What do you guys have?
Marijuana.
Weed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. There's more dispensaries than Starbucks. Lots of Mexican food here.
Star Nugs.
Everybody puts green chili on everything. So if you get something that's called like the Colorado burger or the Colorado omelet, it probably has green chili on it.
Now, is green chili really spicy or is it not spicy?
Some of it is. I think it's
Yeah,
generally pretty mild
variations.
though.
Interesting.
So yeah, everything's got green chili on
I've
it.
always,
Which
yeah,
is
I
green
always
chili.
found green chili to be like a soft heat, like it's a builder, not a. You know what I mean? It's a grower, not a shower.
sure.
yeah.
It kind of looks like snot. So
Well, who is the one?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Schlereth, the former Denver Bronco. Didn't he come up
Yeah.
with his own green chili? Like stinking green because his name was the
yeah, I
Stink?
think so. I think he's got like jars on the shelves out here. There's a couple former players
Talk
that
about
have
regretting life choices, huh?
couple former players have their
I am the
products.
stink.
Yeah, stinking green. I don't know if I'm going to be buying that one anytime soon. I want my chili to stink.
That's always my experience the morning after green chili.
Just the morning.
TMI? TMI. Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun
Hell
chatting
yeah.
with you.
Oh, is it
We're-
that time already?
Oh, it is, man. We're an hour and 2 minutes in. We are proud of your accomplishments. Cheer you on from the sidelines. I'll be waiting for my
Impressed.
23rd invite. Whenever that comes through, I'll be looking for it.
I'm gonna start messaging each of you separately once RGV comes back in the rotation. Like, it's so much
Just-
easier. Think about it.
Just put
Just
up
think about it.
random pictures of like Michael Jordan and LeBron James now, just with the number 23, just subliminal. Like, what do you guys think of this? We'll see what happens. We say this, and I'm gonna be like, I'm in Mexico. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm not going to compete in this event of stupidity. I'm just going to goad
Yeah,
on the sidelines.
like when I played for my alarm on Saturday.
Greg's like the double dog dare,
Yeah,
right?
you won't do this.
Dare you.
Just gotta
So,
plant that seed.
for the rest of us, until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks for joining, guys.
Hey, thanks
Guys.
for having us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Natty Light, 24 pack,
Yeah.
and a shot collar. Me, 2 dudes. It was a rough night.